Abandoned by her mother and betrayed by love, a young girl devised all odds to rewrite her destiny. Tina's dreams were once valid and full of color. At 18, she envisioned herself as a successful woman, building a future beyond the small town she grew up in. But life took a harsh turn when she fell in love with a man who promised her the world. He left her heartbroken, denying her and their unborn child. With no family to support her, Tina was forced to grow up fast. Her daughter Diane was her only joy, but survival overshadowed happiness. One fateful day, Tina met Victor, a man who promised to take care of both her and Diane. With no other options, she moved in with him. At first, Victor seemed charming, but his true nature revealed itself quickly. "Why does your daughter always leave her things lying around?" he barked one evening, kicking Diane's toy across the room. "I'm sorry, Victor," Tina said softly, gathering the toy as Diane clung to her leg. "You're always sorry," Victor snapped, storming off. The maltreatment escalated. Tina bore it all, convincing herself she had no choice. But the worst came on Diane's 16th birthday. "She has to go," Victor said bluntly over dinner. Tina's fork clattered to her plate. "What are you saying? I won't have her in my house anymore. She's old enough to figure things out on her own," Victor replied, his tone icy. Diane stared at her mother, silently pleading. Tina's heart shattered, but fear and frustration overwhelmed her. With trembling hands, she packed Diane's belongings and watched her daughter walk into the night. Diane wandered the streets, her mother's tearful face haunting her. Cold and hungry, she felt invisible to the world. Days later, a young man named Jason approached her. "You shouldn't be out here alone," Jason said, handing her a sandwich. Grateful and desperate, Diane accepted. Jason offered her a place to stay and she agreed. For a while life seemed better, but months later, Diane found herself pregnant and trapped in a circle eerily similar to her mother's. Jason's kindness faded. "Why are you so useless?" he snarled one evening after she asked for help. "I'm carrying your child," Diane retorted. Jason laughed coldly. "That's not my problem." Diane knew that she couldn't stay. She vowed to break the cycle, to give her child a better life than she had. With nothing but determination, Diane began doing chores for people in her neighborhood. Every small payment was a step closer to freedom. One evening, she whispered to her unborn child, "I'll never let you go through what I did. I'll make a way for us." After her baby was born, Diane started selling foodstuffs by the roadside. Her business grew slowly, and she saved enough money to rent a small room. Leaving Jason's house felt like stepping into light. "You'll regret this," Jason yelled as she walked away. "I'd rather regret leaving than staying," Diane replied firmly, holding her child close. Diane's roadside stall flourished, transforming into a small supermarket. Her perseverance caught the attention of the community, and her customers admired her resilience. She enrolled her child in school and decided to return to her studies as well. Balancing work, school, and motherhood wasn't easy, but Diane thrived. Years later, Diane graduated with honors. One ordinary day, a man named Henry walked into her supermarket. "Do you have organic coffee?" he asked, smiling warmly. "Yes, right this way," Diane replied, leading him to the shelf. Their hands brushed briefly, and Henry felt a spark. Henry became a regular customer, finding excuses to see Diane. After weeks of visiting, he finally asked her out. As Diane and Henry's relationship blossomed, he expressed his desire to marry her and adopt her child. Before saying yes, Diane decided to visit her mother. "Mom," Diane called as she stepped into the old crumbling house. Tina turned, her breath catching. "Diane." "It's me, Mom," Diane said, tears in her eyes. Tina fell to her knees. I'm so sorry I failed you. I let you go when I should have fought for you. Can you ever forgive me? Diane helped her mother up. I forgave you long time ago. I understand now that you were scared and lost, but you're safe now. Diane introduced Henry, who promised to take Tina out of Victor's house. Together they moved Tina into their home, giving her the love and care she had never known. Diane and Henry's wedding was a celebration of resilience and love. Henry not only adopted Diane's child but also became the family she had always dreamed of. Tina watched her daughter's happiness with pride and gratitude, vowing to never take it for granted. This story shows that the cycle of pain and suffering can be broken with determination, love, and courage. Diane proved that one person's choice can change the trajectory of an entire generation. No matter how dark the past, the future is always a blank canvas waiting to be painted with hope.